Good morning. My name is Ann Ong, and I'd like to welcome you to our O-Higan service today. We'd like to start with Fruit and Floral Offering by the 5th through 8th grade class. Thank you very much. We'll now have chanting of the Sambujo on page 21, followed by the Hyobyakumon, and then Sutra Sambutsuge on page 43.
Hyobyakumon. In the presence of Amida Buddha, which we experience as wisdom and compassion, light and life, we gather today to observe O-Higan, a time for us to reflect upon our connections to the rhythms and cycles of the earth and to our connections to the whole universe. It's a time once again to hear and to be reminded of the guiding principles of the six paramitas: dana, generosity, or path of selfless giving; shila, discipline or path of right behavior; kshanti, patience; virya, energy or the path of vigor and diligence; dhyana, meditation or the path of concentration; and prajna, insight or the path of wisdom. For all of us today in this Jodo Shinshu temple, it's a time for us as a Sangha to reflect together and be in harmony with the rhythms and the cycles of the earth and indeed the universe. Namo kie Butsu. Namo kie ho. Namo kie so. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Hearing the name, desiring to be born in the Pure Land, all can attain birth and attain the rank of the truly settled. Please join me in Nembutsu Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda Butsu. Namanda.
We'll now have the sutra chanting Shambutsuge on page 43.
Kogengigi ijing mugoku nyoze emyo muyo tosha nichigan mani shuko enyo kaishin ompe yunyaku jumoku nyorai yogen chose murin shogaku daion koru jippo kaimon shojin sammai chi e itoku muryo shusho keu jintai zennen shobuten hokai gujin jin no kugo gaitai mumyo yokunu sesson yomu nin no shishi jin toku muryo kukun kodai chi e jimyo komyo iso shindo daisen ganga sabuten zai shoho kado shoji mihuge daten husejoi kainin shojin nyoze sammai chi e ijo gosei toku Hugyo shigan isai kuku isa daian keshi ubuten hyakusen nokuman muryo daisho shunyo goja kuyo isai shito shobuten hunyo gudo kensho hugyaku hinyo goja shobuten sekai buhukage mushu sendo 公明師匠変死小国尿税精進偉人南領両が差分国土第一五種奇妙道場超絶国尿内音任務闘争ガト愛民道脱一切自来生新年少女意図が国経楽安穏公文神妙下世が新章本願の非力少々欲実法世尊知恵無下上領子孫知が信行軽量心死食毒中が行精進忍術家ナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブナマンダブがんにしく毒平等性際道本母大心お上安楽ナモミダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏ナマンダ仏
Will you all please rise for the recitation of our pledge, which is an insert in the service book? Our pledge. Breaking out of my shell, I will share a warm smile and speak gentle words, just like the kind Buddha. Not becoming lost in my greed, anger, and ignorance, I shall think and act with an open mind, just like the calm and peaceful Buddha. Not putting myself first, I will share in the joy and sadness of others, just like the compassionate Buddha. Realizing the gift of life I have received, I shall strive to live each day to its fullest, like the Buddha who tirelessly works to liberate all. Kansho. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Please be seated. We'll now have Kansho and incense offering, starting with Dharma School staff, Nancy Martinez. Dharma School student, Matteo Mascola. Sangha Teens, Juliana Cruz. Junior YBA, Cassidy Muraoka. Abba, Greg Yonakura. BWA, Aki Tomiyama. Taiko Angela Castillo. Komon, past presidents of the board, Joyce Teague. Buddhist Temple, Kurt Yasuhara. Thank you. We will now have our Dharma School message given by Reverend Smitty.
Good morning. Please join me in Gasho. We call the Pure Land path the easy path. It is a path of not needing strenuous practices such as meditation or studying and memorizing the sutras and other Buddhist teachings. It is the path that entrusts in Amida Buddha and the primal vow. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namandab, Namandab, Namandab. Okay, so everybody knows I like to ask questions. Does anybody know what special service we're celebrating today? It's an easy one. Look at the program. O-Higan, yes. All right. So We celebrate O-Higan twice a year. Is it O-Higan again? Yes, it is. And we do this in the spring and the autumn. And it's an observance of Japanese origins. That is, O-Higan wasn't a tradition that was handed down from Buddhism in India or China and then on to us. It originated in Japan. And the observance of O-Higan is said to have been inspired by Prince Shotoku, who was a ruler of legend and who was considered the first great patron or champion of Buddhism. And this holiday is also based on the teachings and writings of one of the 7 masters of Jodo Shinshu, the Chinese scholar and monk Shantao, who we also know as Zendo in Japanese. In the Gatha Shoshinge, Shinran Shonin expresses gratitude to Shantao for teaching us the virtues of reciting the name of Amida Buddha, or saying Namo Amida Butsu. One of those virtues of saying the Nembutsu is that it puts us on the easy path to becoming a Buddha, the path of entrusting in Amida Buddha and the primal vow. So, since O-Higan occurs twice a year, in the spring and in the fall, what special day does it coincide with? I'll give you a hint. It begins with an E and it ends in an X. Equinox. Yes, I heard some equinoxes out there. Great. So that refers to the time of year when the day and night are being the same length of time. And in the northern hemisphere, where last time I checked, San Diego still is, the equinox in September is called the autumnal or fall equinox, and the equinox in March is called the vernal or the spring equinox. And although we're celebrating the fall equinox today, it actually will occur next Sunday, September 22nd at 5:43 a.m. here in San Diego. But I don't want to get up at 5 a.m. so I can be here and have a service at that time, so we're doing this today. Also in the Southern Hemisphere, in places like Sydney, Australia, or Auckland, New Zealand, or even McMurdo Station in Antarctica, one would observe the spring equinox while we're busy observing the autumnal one. And it's flipped the other way. In the spring for us, it's autumn for them. So in a way, the earth itself is balancing out the seasons. So as I mentioned, on the day of the equinox, daytime and nighttime are of an approximate equal duration all over the planet. And the hours of sunlight equal about the hours of darkness, or daytime is in balance with nighttime. And there's also things about this time of year that also seem to be in balance. We kind of think that the weather is a bit in balance for us. It's usually not too cold or too hot this time of year. It's often not too rainy and not too dry. So the equinox, and therefore O-Higan, is a time of balance. So have you ever seen on a playground something that's known as a seesaw or possibly teeter-totter? Anybody see that? Anybody ever, get on one? Yeah, me too. Well, it's like a long board and it has a pivot point in the middle. So what happens if you sit on the seesaw and nobody sits on the other end? What happens? Yeah, you go down to the ground and the other end is up there in the air. Yep, it's out of balance at that time. And what happens if you're sitting on the seesaw and somebody big like me gets on the other end? Right, you'll probably go way up in the air and I'll be down on the ground. That's right. So what happens if perhaps 2 or 3 Dharma school students sit on one end and I sit on the other end? It's probably going to balance at that point. All right. So Since O-Higan is celebrated at the same time as the spring and fall equinoxes, in some way, O-Higan is referring to being in balance. And when we're in balance, it can be said that we're on the middle path. And the middle path is another way to say we're leading a Buddhist life. How many of you watched Olympics this summer? Oh, just about everybody. Wow, okay. What sports did you see? What else? Okay. What? Oh, breaking, yeah. That was new this year. Swimming. Surfing, yeah. Rugby sevens, right. What else? Volleyball, okay. Skateboarding, yeah. So there's a lot of different sports in the Olympics. What sports do you think require balance? I like the answer of all of them, or everything. Yeah. You pretty much have to be in balance or have a good sense of balance in order to compete in sports, especially at the Olympic level. So if you're rowing or kayaking or canoeing, those all take balance to keep the boats upright so they don't tip and sink, right? Makes sense? Skateboarding and surfing both take a lot of balance. How about cycling? Whether it's BMX or road cycling or track cycling or mountain biking, they all require balance or you might end up with road rash, right? Wrestling, karate, taekwondo, and judo, they all need an ability to be balanced. And fencing and archery both take a lot of balance, or you'd see swords flying and arrows flying all in directions that you don't want them flying in, right? So you have to be in balance when you do those things. How about diving in a sport I didn't hear anybody mention, trampoline? Those both take a lot of balance while you're both twisting and turning and flipping in the air, but you have to have a sense of balance in order to do that well. In the equestrian events, not only do you need balance, but who else needs balance in an equestrian event? The horse, of course. So together you both need to be able to balance. And we did hear right off the bat a couple folks were mentioning gymnastics. There's lots of balance required for that sport. There's even a gymnastics apparatus with the word balance right in its name. The beam, or the balance beam, yep. So, by the way, in case you didn't realize, the final medal count at the 2024 Summer Olympics was somewhat out of balance. The USA tied with China for the most gold medals at 40 for each country, but the US took the most overall medals at 126. That's 35 more medals than the next closest competing nation, which is also China, who had a total of 91. And did you know that the US also leads in the total all-time Olympic medal count with a whopping 2,793 medals? That's more than double the next closest nation, which happens to be the Soviet Union, with 1,009 medals. And does the Soviet Union exist anymore? No, so they're not going to be winning any more medals anytime soon, right? However, there's a third place nation, which is the United Kingdom. And the UK has 1,003 all-time Olympic medals. So they'll likely take over second place in the 2026 Winter Olympics if they have a good showing there. But still, while Olympic sports require a lot of balance, that Olympic medal count seems really unbalanced to me. So, in addition to sports, which we've been talking about, balance actually plays a big part in our lives. Who here likes to eat? Yeah, me too. Have you ever heard of the term of a balanced meal or a balanced diet? Okay. A balanced meal or a balanced diet means eating a wide variety of foods in the right proportions and consuming the right amount of nutrients to properly fuel your body. What are some of your favorite foods? Coffee, broccoli, carrots, chicken, steak, spaghetti, fish, apples, I heard. Well, I kind of agree with Reverend Laverne. I think pizzas might be one of my favorite foods. If I ate pizza every day for every meal, I think I'd be happy. But in reality, I'd probably get tired of eating nothing but pizza. Now, I could help to balance my pizza meals a bit by eating different styles of pizza and topping those pies with maybe vegetables or different meats and even fruits. But eating nothing but pizza would ultimately result in a pretty unbalanced diet. Besides, I'd miss some of those other foods that I enjoy, especially those that wouldn't make really good pizza toppings, like ice cream or gelato. So, whether it's the foods we eat, the activities we do, the hobbies we have, or how we spend our time, doing too much of one of these things puts our lives out of balance. So, who likes to play video games on your phone or... Yeah, me too. Okay, that's fun, but doing nothing but gaming would make your life pretty unbalanced. I think you'd probably miss some time spent with family and friends if you spent all your time in those virtual worlds. And just like your phone or your Nintendo Switch that need to be recharged when their batteries get low on power, you need to do things like sleep and eat nutritious food to recharge yourself when those energy levels get low. So it's really all about balance in life, not doing completely one thing and ignoring something else, or eating completely one thing and ignoring everything else. It's about balancing those things out. So even our spiritual life requires balance. How many here would like to say goodbye to your family and friends and go live on a mountaintop temple or monastery? I'm not seeing a lot of hands here. Some might think it's a little bit peaceful, but that's a difficult thing to do. But it's exactly what Shinran Shonin did when he was 9 years old. He spent the next 20 years in a temple on Mount Hiei, studying and practicing intensely according to the Tendai tradition. However, his efforts didn't free him from his greed and anger and ignorance. He felt frustrated with that path and found that it didn't get him any closer to being a Buddha than his secular life did with his family. So Shinran abandoned that unbalanced path, and he spent 95, his goal was 100, but he ended up spending 95 days in seclusion at Rokokodo Temple in Kyoto. And he received inspiration and guidance from the Bodhisattva Kannon. On the 95th day, Shinran had this vision that revealed to him a new direction for his path to enlightenment. And Shinran immediately left Rokokodo Temple to go visit Honin Shonin at Yoshimizu Temple in Kyoto. And he was really moved by Honin's straightforward teachings on the Pure Land path. And Shinran visited Honin, he made a pledge and he followed up with it, that he visited Honin for 100 days to listen to him teach to the young and old, the rich and the poor, men and women, both of the high and low classes. And Honin's message was kind of fresh and eye-opening for him. Honin Shonin taught that Amida Buddha, knowing our true human condition, our propensity to want to play video games all day or eat only our favorite foods, or whatever you like to do a lot of. He knew that those are the kind of things that we would do. And so he selected the recitation of the Buddha's name, Namo Amida Butsu, as the practice and the path that leads to awakening. So reciting the name, he said, is sufficient to assure one's birth in the Pure Land. And this was then known as the easy path. This was a path that didn't require those strenuous practices like meditation or studying and memorizing the sutras. This was a path of balance. And as you work to find your own path this year in Dharma school, I hope you keep in mind that living a path of balance is a big part of defining that path. So please join me again in Gassho. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda, 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 Namanda.
Thank you very much for your message, Reverend Smitty. We'll now have the Dharma School installation, and that will be done by Reverend Laverne and the Dharma School staff.
Will the Dharma School 2024-2025 teachers and staff please come to the front, or are you going to read their names? Oh, okay. Thank you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I'm very honored to introduce the Dharma School teachers and staff for this year. They are all volunteers. So I would hope that the Sangha would at some point show their appreciation for all of these people. We'll have for our superintendents, 12 co-superintendents this year, Sharon Sasaki and Lisa Umekubo. Can you please come up in Gassho and remain standing up here? We can hold applause till everybody's up here. Our assistant superintendent will be Kimberly Cruz. Our recording secretary is Angela Castillo. Our treasurer this year is Roy Okuhara. Roy couldn't be here today. Our corresponding secretary is Karen Okuhara. She also couldn't be here today. Excuse me. Our teachers are Junko Kajita, Greg Yonakura, and Angela Castillo for the pre-K through second grade class. For third through fourth grade class, we have Brevin Honda and Bob Schultz. For the fifth through eighth grade class will be Avis Honda, Sharon Sasaki, and Lorena Covarrubias. Ninth through 12th grade class are Norman Kiono, Julie Watson, and Greg Bull. Our substitutes this year are Lisa Umekubo, Kimberly Cruz, Ralph Honda, and myself, Nancy Martinez. Our birthday crew is the Covarrubias family. So I don't know if anyone else would like to come up from the Covarrubias. Okay. Bulletin board is Angela Castillo. Taking care of Instagram will be Greg Bull. And Sangha team's advisors are Avis Honda and Lisa Umekubo. Our activities group is Lisa Umekubo, Bob Schultz, and Leslie Seymour. And our ministerial advisor is Reverend Laverne Imori, with support from the rest of the ministerial staff.
So can we give them our initial round of applause? Some folks have been doing this for a few years. Others are just brand new. So we're very, very lucky to have this group of individuals, parents, grandparents, and I don't think, maybe we have people, and we do have a couple of people who don't have children but are volunteering to do this. So if you could turn and face Amida, I'm going to administer the oath of installation. Scooch in. Scooch in. Okay. First of all, the Sangha thanks all of you for volunteering to serve as teachers and staff of the Buddhist Temple of San Diego Dharma School for the 2024-2025 Dharma School year. To serve in a teaching and leadership capacity is both an honor and a responsibility. It will require your patience, effort, and dedication to serving others. It's not an easy task, as there will be many challenges and perhaps even criticism for what you do. However, you must maintain a positive attitude to the extent possible and always keep the primary goals and objectives of our Dharma School families and the Buddhist Temple of San Diego Sangha in mind. Remember that the focus of the temple is to nurture our lives within the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. As long as you keep the three treasures close within your heart and mind, your kokoro, you will never stray from the right path in leading others. May you joyously and with gratitude serve your fellow Buddhists during the course of this academic year. If you will take these responsibilities upon your shoulders, please repeat after me. I will do my best to serve on the Dharma School staff of the Buddhist Temple of San Diego. I will strive to be considerate to all and to be a leader by example more than by words. I will do my utmost to listen to the teachings and reflect upon myself. I will serve the Sangha with joy and deep gratitude. I put my faith in Buddha. I put my faith in Dharma. I put my faith in Sangha. Please join me in Gassho Nambutsu. Namandabutsu, 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 namandabutsu. Thank you. Now you may turn to our Sangha, and let's give them another round of applause. Okay, and photo time, so you need to get closer.
Good morning, everyone. On behalf of the Dharma School teachers and staff, we have a special presentation for Nancy Martinez. Nancy. As many of you know, Nancy served as Dharma School superintendent several years ago, and we are so grateful that she came back and served again as superintendent for the past 2 years. So at this time, Sharon and Kimberly are going to share some words of appreciation.
Nancy, I don't think we could ever fill your shoes for all the things that you do for the temple and the Dharma School. The the things, the small things and the big things, with such a spirit of kindness, gratitude, and humility. So thank you for being our inspiration.
So out of gratitude for everything that you do for the Dharma School staff and the students, we have just a little something for you.
And again, many thanks, Nancy. We truly appreciate your hard work and dedication. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Reverend Laverne and Dharma School staff, and thank you so much, Nancy. Let's see. Will you all please rise for the Gatha farewell on page 107? Thank you, Robert, and thank you, everyone, for singing. Please be seated. And now we will have words of appreciation by our Temple Board President, Kurt Yasuhara.
Good morning, everybody, and thank you for attending today's O-Higan service. It's great to see so many people here. I really appreciate you coming and attending our service and supporting the temple. I'd like to thank Reverend Laverne Imori and Reverend Smitty for conducting today's service. I'd like to thank Robert Yamamoto for the music accompaniment and Ong for being the masters of ceremony today. I also like to thank our technical crew for always being here early and setting up and getting our streaming service. And I'd like to thank everyone in the Dharma School today, all the teachers that dedicate their time, their experience, and their leadership to have a nice Dharma School year. And special thanks to Nancy for always being there and dedicating her time and expertise to the Dharma School. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kurt. Are there any announcements?
Hi, I'm Bill Teague. I help with membership here. And I also wanted to extend a welcome to folks who are here, perhaps for the first time. We have some handouts that may be of interest. We've got this one, which just has some words of welcome on one side, and then on the back, it just talks about the rest of the schedule for September. And then if some of you are interested, we are having our triple gem ceremony, which is a way in which people can confirm their decision to join the Buddhist path a week from Saturday here at the temple at 3 p.m. Finally, to stay in touch, we do have a sign-up sheet for email. If you don't mind, please give us your email, and we'll go ahead and send you reminders about things that are happening at the temple. Thank you very much.
Good morning. On behalf of our taiko, or drumming group, we'd like to invite anyone who might be interested in learning how to play taiko to a 4-week workshop series that will be starting next month. The dates are October 6th, 13th, and November 10th and 17th. Classes are free for temple members and $10 a class for anyone else who would like to join us. We'll be having 2 sessions, kids 6 to 13 from 9 to 9:45, and adults from noon to 1. If you're interested, there's information on our website and our social media channels, or feel free to reach out to any of our members. Thank you.
Hi, good morning, everyone. Nice to see all of you at the temple today. My announcement will take a few minutes, so please bear with me. I asked Reverend Laverne if I could give a presentation at the service today, and she said, sure, why not? And I'm here to promote the Southern District Buddhist Conference, which our temple will be hosting on Saturday, October 19th. And this will be an all-day event, and we hope that many of the temple members will register for the conference. The theme will be Save the Date for the Nembutsu, and our keynote speakers will be Reverend Marvin Harada, Bishop of the Buddhist Churches of America, and Reverend Hibiki Murakami from the Los Angeles Hopa-Hongaji Buddhist Temple in Los Angeles. Our committee has been working on this conference since August of last year, and we feel that we have a full day of activities involved, which range from we'll have a very nice opening and closing services, which will include we have around 10 ministers who will be attending this event. So they will be, and they represent the ministers from the Southern District Buddhist temples, mostly in the LA area. And they'll be accompanying their delegates to San Diego. And we'll be having workshops in the afternoon. And let's see now. Let me see. I'm sorry. Our schedule will be a full day from 10 to about 4:30 p.m. And then we will have afternoon workshops, which will include, and you get to choose one, calligraphy, a save-the-date scroll, taiko, and a 125th anniversary gatha. And then later in the afternoon, we will have a performance from the Grateful Crane Ensemble. They're a musical group, and they will be performing the 125-year history of the Buddhist Churches of America. And as many of you are aware, 2024 is the anniversary for the Buddhist Churches of America of Jodo Shinshu Buddhism here in the United States. A couple weeks ago on the BCA had a 125th anniversary commemoration, and they also had many activities on there as well. And so we're going to continue that with our conference in commemoration of the 125th. So the cost for the conference is $50 per person. That's the registration fee. And as a bonus, if you're a dues-paying members of the temple, the registration fee is $40. We'll be having a lunch, serving a lunch. It'll be a tamale luncheon, so made by our wonderful chefs. So our committee hopes that we have, our committee has been working hard on the program, so we look forward to participation. And if you're interested, you could see me or Junko or anyone on the committee about more information on the conference. There's a sign-up sheet downstairs in the office if you'd like to sign up for your participation, and look forward to having you join us on October 19th to save the date for the Nembutsu. Thank you.
Thank you, Ralph. And let's see, before we continue with the adult service, I'd like to excuse the Dharma School students, and they are welcome to come up and offer incense. You're welcome. Thank you, Ralph. And I'll just announce the Cato luncheon at the end.
Also,
Yeah.
can you announce about on the 29th we're going to have a temple cleanup?
Okay.
After the series.
29, temple cleanup. Okay.
Yeah.
Cleanup after service. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. Wow, it's so nice to see so many Dharma School students and staff. Thank you. All right, we will begin the adult portion of our service next. And we'll start with the chanting of the Vandana and Tea Sarana on page 96. And please begin at the beginning where it says leader.
Namo tassa bhagavato arahato Samma Sambuddhassa. Homage to him, the exalted one, the enlightened one, the supremely awakened one. Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami. I go to the Buddha for guidance. I go to the Dharma for guidance. I go to the Sangha for guidance. Namo kie Butsu. Namo kie Ho. Namo kie So. Please join me in Nembutsu Gasho. Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu.
We'll now have the O-Higan message with Reverend Laverne.
Good morning. How is everybody this morning? I am going to start us off this morning by asking you, if you can, to stand up. And we're just going to move our bodies a little bit and awaken our bodies and awaken our minds. So if you'll stand up and just join me in just some shake it off exercises. So start by just moving the waist. Okay, and then stretch up to one side. Whoops. I started. Stretch up the next side, and then bend down. Stretch your back. Okay, stretch the side. Stretch to the other side. Okay, and just kind of wriggle off those. Okay, everybody awake? Yeah? Okay, let me get my stuff. So if you don't already know this, so we have these sleeves, and some of us, not all of us, I don't know if you use Smitty, but I use mine as storage. Extra pockets, if you will. So I am going to start off today. Actually, I was going to say, Smitty and I must have written like almost the same words, because as I was listening to her Dharma message earlier, I thought, wait a minute, that's my Dharma message. So I might end up repeating myself a little bit, but I also will go off on a tangent and just insert some of my personal thoughts this morning. So as you know, we are observing O-Higan, which we do twice a year, once in the spring at the spring equinox and then once in the fall. And the fall O-Higan is called Shuki-Higan. And Higan means the other shore, or reaching nirvana. And in Japan, the Higan observance is generally a week-long observance. And then during this time, Buddhists get together to study and meditate on the Pure Land, with emphasis placed on the observance of what we call the 6 paramitas. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to focus on the 6 paramitas, and I'm going to ask you during this service, as we're sharing the paramitas, to do a bit of self-reflection in the moment now, and then as you proceed with your day. The first paramita is selfless giving, dana. And I think that this temple especially is a very wonderful example. We have so many people that do selfless giving. We have a well care group that visits temple members that maybe cannot attend or who are recovering from illness or surgery, perhaps. We have another Dana group that provides food, provides clothing, and those are led by two of our ministers' assistants, Aruturo, Rubio, and Katie, Amida. And they do it on their own. This is all volunteer. We also have selfless giving in the form of a couple of organizations, the Junior YBA. In fact, they're doing some fundraising now for Radies Children's Hospital. They're asking for stuffed animal donations. And I also want to mention our Buddhist Women's Association. I think that they do a lot of behind-the-scenes selfless giving, and that was real evident to me, not just the BWA, but board members, temple members. We had a big funeral service yesterday. Required a lot of setting up and cleanup afterwards. And those folks that came to help, I mean, it was a long day. I think most people started about 8, maybe 9 o'clock. And when I left maybe it was about 2 or 2:30, there were still people that were cleaning up in the annex afterwards. And for those of you that will be joining us for our Hokai luncheon, you'll see that, again, the annex is all set up. So it doesn't just happen by magic. It happens because we have a lot of people that are actually practicing Dana. The second paramita is right behavior, Shila. And what does that mean? What does right mean, right? Behavior means that you are not doing harm to yourself and others. And as you're thinking of this paramita, I think for myself anyway, I do have to question sometimes my behavior. Am I acting out of, what do they call that? Am I being passive aggressive, for example? Especially 20, 30 years ago, I was a great example of passive aggressive behavior. And through some therapy, became very aware that that was what I was doing. And it was harming, not just myself, but others. The other paramita is the path of Kshanti, patience. How many people here have had challenges of not being very patient? Yeah. So, patience is an interesting one. I used to tell my daughter when she was growing up, because she was very impatient. When are we going to get there? When are we going to do this? When is this going to happen? When is that going to happen? And I used to tell her and she hates hearing this today, patience is a virtue. Anybody else get that from parents? So I don't say that to my granddaughters because I don't want that to not be a good phrase for them that they're just going to turn away when I say that. But patience can be manifested in very many different ways. If you're feeling anger, you want to say some words that are maybe not very nice to somebody. Be patient, sit with those words, sit with those thoughts, and maybe you'll not say those words. The path of endeavor or effort, vidya, and the path of meditation, dhyana. Jodo Shinshu is not a path of meditation to achieve enlightenment, right? I have heard from prior teachers of mine that have said that if we do meditate, we meditate to get ourselves ready to hear the teachings, to hear the Dharma. Because for us, especially at these services, that's really what's the most important, is the Dharma, is getting the Dharma. Whether it's in a message like I'm delivering today, or whether it's in singing the Gatha, or whether it's being part of the chanting, or just hearing the chanting. That, for me, chanting actually can be very meditative. So it is meditation, quiet, contemplation is a form of getting ready for us to really be in the moment so we can listen to and absorb the Dharma, the teachings. And then the path of wisdom, prajna. That's why I'm here. It's because I am, one of the teachings, of Shinran Shonin is that we are all burdened, right, by our ego selves. And so it's very, very difficult for us living our everyday lives to achieve wisdom, to achieve nirvana. And so for me, the teachings of Shinran Shonin especially, and what we say in Jodo Shinshu is, come hear the teachings just as you are, with the baggage, because through the difficulties that we are going to experience in this life, that's part of our learning, right? And so that's part, I think, of the wisdom. Yes, we all want to be happy. We don't want to be sad. But the other side of the coin of happiness is sadness. And so it's understanding the dark and the light that is part of our lives. That is part of the wisdom of living this life to the best of our abilities. Okay, and I was going to keep this to 10 minutes because we have lunch, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm getting hungry. And there's a lot of food over there. So please join me in Gassho, just the recitation of the Nembutsu. Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namo Amida Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu, Namanda Butsu. Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Laverne. Please rise for the Gatha Ondoksan on page 128. Thank you. Please be seated. All right. Thank you, Reverend Laverne, for sharing some of your self-reflection. I have also been doing some self-reflection, and in thinking of this O-Higan service, I've been recently studying Reiki, which is a form of Japanese energy healing that was originated in Japan by a Buddhist monk. And in studying that, I wanted to share a quote from Moonlight Gratitude. And I'm going to read it before and after the meditation. And Moonlight Gratitude is nighttime meditations written by Emily Silva. So it's just a meditation you read before going to sleep. And I wanted to share this one because it resonated with me right now. So it's, when we are wounded and heal, we have the opportunity to offer support and understanding to others who are going through similar situations. It is powerful to understand that your pain can create a healer within you. Wisdom has been passed down for ages. Without the experience of pain and suffering, wisdom would lack depth. Celebrate overcoming pain and create a space for healing within. From this place, your inner light will illuminate. So I'll share that again at the end of our meditation. But we all please put your hands together for Gassho for our music meditation. When we are wounded and heal, we have the opportunity to offer support and understanding to others who are going through similar situations. It is powerful to understand that your pain can create a healer within you. Wisdom has been passed down for ages. Without the experience of pain and suffering, wisdom would lack depth. Celebrate overcoming pain and create a space for healing within. From this space, your inner light will illuminate. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. Namo Amida Butsu. I'm just going to make a last announcement that on September 29th after service, we'll have a temple cleanup. And then today we do have our Hokai luncheon in the Annex Hall, and everyone is invited. So please feel free to come up and offer incense on your way to lunch. Thank you.